Good afternoon to one and all. We are happy to have with us Mr. Mayur Chturvedi from Pepsico. I would like to welcome you with a flower bouquet. And sir, you're most welcome. Thank you to everybody for being patient and bearing with us. Going forward, Anup will summarize what happened in panel 1, and therefore we start with panel discussion 2.
Panel 1, which was analyzing and finding out what is the nature of Gen Y. So we have got a couple of good pointers and very good insights from the panel which discussed the topic. And it started off viewing the Gen Y in 4 parameters, or the 4 issues which Gen Y faces. One is optimism and pessimism, ambition and stability, self and society, traditional and modern, and natural and artificial. So optimism and pessimism, if there is a sense of pessimism in the Gen Y, what the view of our panel was that the pessimism is natural and it should be viewed from a contextual point of view. As far as ambition was concerned, Gen Y was viewed to be highly ambitious, and the values like longevity and stability were considered, which were considered to not to be the values of Gen Y. The view of our panel was that it should be contextually viewed, and everything as a context, as Mr. Benny Augustine from Unisys said. And the definition of stability varies from Gen X to Gen Y, as Mr. Subramanian from Mafoi pointed out that the tenure and the lifetime of an employee in an organization depends on ages to ages. I mean, stability for you may not be stability for me. And it's necessary for the organizations to evolve according to the Gen Y, and it's necessary for the organizations to adapt. That was one point of view put up. Self versus society, that was another parameter on which Gen Y was evaluated, and our panel acknowledged that Gen Y can be self-centric. However, as I said earlier, if you step into their shoes, there may be a chance that what you see as self-centered, they may see it as a natural process. And social awareness, of course, our panel was very positive on that, and social awareness has increased, of course, through Facebook and a number of social media sites, and there is a form of collectivism, and Gen Y has developed an ability to look at the bigger picture. Well, traditional versus modern, Mr. Girinarayanan put a view that however we become, wherever we go, we are Indians from within. And so it's society which drives all of us, and it's society which drives all of us, and society puts a pressure on us, and we behave according to what what we perceive the society views us as. So this includes Gen Y also, and so Gen Y also acts on the indicators given by the society. And natural versus artificial, there was a very good point of view put down from one student in the audience, that work-life balance, how it is achieved is very important. And so our panel had a view that yeah, it's important, and there are practices which promote work-life balance. Mr. Benny again shared with us some very good points as to how Unisys achieves that. And as far as there was another question, that balancing the ideals and objectives between Gen X and Gen Y. Professor Vijaya put forth the question that how organizations are balancing. Our panel had a view, and it acknowledged that there is a generation gap, in fact, and it's very important to manage it. So now we move on to the actual processes and actual activities and the best practices which organizations employ to engage Gen Y. So I call upon Mr. Narasimha Prasad from Google to take over the discussion.
DN Prasad, DNP as he has referred to in Google, is a member of Google APAC HR leadership team. In his role as Program Manager and Head of People, Technology and Operations in APAC, he ensures the operational integrity of the company's people processes and partners with the cross-functional teams to bring innovation in the way the company uses technology to attract, retain, and grow Googlers worldwide. His previous roles at Google include managing a program management office for people operations in APAC region, focusing on people ops strategy and operations, employee branding, and talent outreach. Before Google, he worked as head global entry-level hiring and campus relations for Infosys Technologies Limited and has worked in India and United States. He is passionate about mentoring and career counseling and is active on both fronts. Mr. Prasad has a bachelor's degree in engineering and postgraduate diploma in management HR from TAPMI Management Institute, TAPMI, Manipal. Yes, friends, he is an alum. I request you, sir, to please be the moderator for panel 2. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Diksha. Thanks you, Anu. Thanks for the introduction. I was hoping they won't miss on my TAPMI background, like in the case of Anand. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to be here and be able to moderate the second panel discussion that we have. The lunch was really good. And I know, no? Is there a conflict on that? Is everybody active enough? A session after lunch is the toughest, and I really, my heart goes out to the panelists here and to myself. Can we do a little bit of rejig just to make sure we're all awake and active? I'll exclude the panelists and the faculty from this. Can we have you all stand up for a quick minute? Someone knows the trick already. Hands up. Stretch. Be careful of the focus. I want everybody to do it. Come on. Wake up, wake up. Right, now, everyone moves 2 places to your right. And that's going to be a new seat, so you can settle in now. Right. I think as an organizer, my friend Anup was really modest when he said we just got a couple of good points from the panel. I think we did more than that, more than a couple of good points. And just to express our gratitude to panel 1, can we give them a round of applause again? Just like we did in the morning, I'll have the pleasure of introducing the panelists on panel 2. I'll start with Mr. Swaroop, who's going to be on my extreme left. Mr. K.J.A Swaroop is General Manager of Paperboard and Specialty Papers Division of ITC Limited. He has a Bachelor of Arts from Andhra Loyola College in Vijayawada, an MBA from Andhra University, Vizag, an LLB from Osmania University, Hyderabad, and an LLM from Columbia University, New York. And last but not the least, he's a university gold medalist. Do spare a moment to talk about his love for academics later when you meet him outside. That's far too many degrees for our comfort, right? He joined ITC. Can you all hear me okay? Yes. He joined ITC in 1995 and is currently a DGM for Human Resources, responsible for recruitment, training and development. He served for 2 terms as secretary of NHRD network in Hyderabad, and his hobbies are playing Sudoku and listening to country music. Next on the dais to my immediate left is going to be Mr. Mayur Chturvedi. Mayur. Mr. Mayur works as General Manager for Compensation and Benefits in Pepsico India Holdings Private Limited. He's an HR professional with 12 years of experience with leading FMCG companies in manpower planning, performance management, policy formulation and implementation, and is an expert in talent acquisition, career planning, psychometric analysis, and training and development. He has a postgraduate diploma in business administration from the Institute of Productivity and Management, batch of 99. He was ranked number 2 in the class of 120, and he also has a postgraduate certificate in HRM from XLRI 2011. He was nominated for PepsiCo Leadership Academy at IMA, which is a recognition of high performance and potential, and also has won the Pepsi AHA, a special recognition award for driving corporate social responsibility agenda in Punjab. He was recognized by the Chief Minister of Karnataka for driving employment programs for the blind. Honored to have you. Next on dais is Mr. Jacob. Yes, Mr. Jacob is the Chief People Officer for Apollo Hospitals Enterprises, an alum of TAPMI, batch of 96. Has over 15 years of experience, and his experience is varied across HR consulting, international HR, and startup HR. Mr. Jacob has worked with organizations such as Feedback Ventures, Emirates Airlines in Dubai, and Oberoi Realty. Currently at Apollo, Mr. Jacob is striving to create a mechanism of robust service delivery in healthcare through innovative and robust HR initiatives. Mr. Jacob was recently recognized as one amongst the most powerful HR professionals in India. Let me repeat that. Recently recognized as one amongst the most powerful HR professionals in India by the World HR Congress, and is also a recipient of the HR Leadership Award by the Asia Pacific HR Congress in tandem with Times SN. Congratulations. And I'll also take the liberty on behalf of everyone here. We're really proud of you, Jacob. And on my extreme right, on the dais, is going to be Mr. Glenn Brass. Mr. Glenn has held several senior roles in human resources and administration in SG, Societe Generale, ANZ and Motorola, and the UB Group in a career spanning over 35 years. He holds a master's degree in political science with additional qualifications in industrial relations and labor law. He is a founder and principal consultant of People's Pulse, a management consultancy firm, and a director in Apt Career Services Private Limited. Mr. Glenn is a passionate trainer with expertise in the fields of soft skills, management, organization development programs, and project management. He's a faculty member at the Canara Bank School of Management Studies and Jyoti Nivas College, an autonomous institute, both affiliated to Bangalore University. Welcome. To get started on the second session, which is really to understand organizational practices practical approach to engaging Gen Y. We had a lot of discussion in panel 1 and innumerable number of inputs that have come to us, all invaluable for all of us here. To quickly get us out, to segue us into the second session, I'd like to start off by inviting everybody to share a quick 90-second snippet of their thought of what they think about Gen Y from their organizational perspective, and we'll then delve into details of the organizational practices. We'll start with you, sir. Glenn.
Good afternoon to you all. Great. To answer the question as to what I think of Gen Y from my perspective, I think working with them is a very good learning experience, an interesting learning experience. The reason being, they are impatient for success. They want things to move. They want things to happen. And to meet that is a challenge, especially by Gen X, who are more sober in their approach to getting things done. So I think it's something that brings life to organizations. Gen Y really livens up the environment and makes sure that things happen.
Thank you. Jacob?
Afternoon, everybody. Just to take on from that, I just have some quick thoughts on this. One is very clear, the dynamics of engagement are changing. It's no more what the organization wants to do. It's what does Gen Y want. And the terms of engagement are changing to what really Gen Y wants, and companies are adapting themselves to changes in strategies on people management to tackle the needs of what Gen Y wants. Earlier, employee engagement was all about the company has this particular model, let's fit everybody into this. It's now different courses for different people, and I think companies are really thinking a lot on what needs to be done to customize employee engagement initiatives for individual talent in the organization. Thank you.
Mayur?
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. For Gen Y for Pepsico is future leaders. They are the person who will going to take us to the next level. Being an innovative organization, there's a lot of focus on Gen Y. Our entire policies, the structures, the kind of innovation work which is going on the human resource front is on ensuring that they have a successful stint with Pepsico. For us, they are the guys who bring different ideas. We are into food business, and the feedback which comes from them counts, and we are very, very conscious about the fact that they bring us such good feedback. For us, they are the guys who will ensure that, you know, ye dil mange more. So that is what Gen Y for us is.
Okay, it's a kind of a paradox for me to talk about Gen Y because ITC has just celebrated the 100th birthday just a few years back, okay, a few months back, okay. Now you are asking me to speak on Gen Y, okay. But please remember, all my CEOs today were the Gen Y guys of the 1960s, okay. So they made it happen. So this is a cycle, and we realize that every year, even today, year after year, we recruit 100 engineering graduates from all the IITs, about 60 management graduates from the IIMs, and then they come into our system, and then we manage the transition as well as the combination. And I should say that if ITC is what it is today, it is of the Gen Ys, of not only last generation, but this generation too.
Thank you, Swaroop. We have the advantage here of having panelists from across industry segments, and that's a huge plus for the conversation. So my next question to the panel, and no particular order, feel free to grab the mic and go first. Is this issue for real? The whole discussion around Gen X versus Gen Y, having to engage Gen Ys differently, having to develop processes or policies in human resources differently. Is this a real issue that we face? One. And two, is this industry agnostic? Or is it limited, specific to certain industries? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so just to answer that first question, I think this is a very valid discussion that we are doing today. I'll not say it's a concern, but it's an issue which we need to all resolve and understand that there is a lot of work has to be done on this. When we talk about Gen Y, coming to our organization, there is definitely people who have been there for so long, have done work in organizations which are much older, as he himself pointed. People coming in from say ITC or say HUL. Pepsico is a relatively younger organization compared to some of these organizations. So people have moved from those organizations. When they come in, they definitely bring some ideas to it, and then there is a clash which happens, and hence. We understand that there's a great talent pool which is available. We understand that we need to engage them. We understand that we need to work on policies which are different for them. It cannot be just same. I was going through that list of the first panel discussion. There was something about the work-life balance. So I think we need to really consciously work on ensuring that these issues are resolved at the organization level. So the first question, definitely there is a valid point, and we need to discuss that.
Any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, what I would like to mention is just to go back. Normally when we talk about employee engagement, we think of the day an employee joins an organization and then begins to interact with the organization management or colleagues. But employee engagement actually starts before that. It starts from the time of the interview, when there is a potential employee. Based on what the employee or potential employee experiences during the recruitment phase, his mind begins to create an impression about the organization in which he or she is going to be employed. Therefore, it is critical that organizations make sure that the engagement with the potential employee is positive. That the potential employee decides that this is the organization that I want to be in. Once that is done, then half the battle is won, because the employee comes in with a commitment that this is where I am going to make my career. This is where I'm going to lay the foundation for my career. So this employee engagement does not start from the day an employee steps into the organization as an employee. It starts from the day the interview happens and then goes on to the time when he receives the appointment letter, the way he receives it, the way he is welcomed, and the subsequent induction process.
Thank you.
See, I think the issue is real and it's here to stay. Last 3 to 4 years, how we've been managing talent, and today how we have to manage talent is very different. The dynamics are changing. The new people who join our system, obviously, they do not want to follow systems, processes. They're extremely, what I would say, they're willing to take risks, and they're hungry for more. So I think the dynamics of basically how you manage this talent is all changing, and what is required is that the way managers deal with Gen Y in their teams, even the dynamics of that is changing. So what really is happening is that Gen Y are asking questions. They really want, in simple terms, they want to sculpt their own jobs in the organization. They're no more willing to look at straight-jacketed job descriptions. They're saying, we'll work on targets, we'll work on, it's up to us how we deliver it to you. But we will not give ourselves to control freaks. We will not follow certain systems, patterns in the organization. Like earlier, there were bureaucratic, there were system-oriented organizations. Punching in, punching out, biometrics, your leaves, all. I think the way you manage around all these things is changing. A lot of companies have put in leave management systems. Gen Y don't even want to engage in a dialogue with their manager and say, may I request for leave? Let's look at practical issues. They just put it on the system. I'm going on leave for 2 days, kindly approve. So I think we have to really be cognizant of this, and I think it's a change in the mental mode of how we have to manage Gen Y. The needs are different, the aspirations are different, and more importantly, it's that, there are lot many choices. I think some of you asked these questions in the morning session. I think everybody has a lot of choices. People are willing to exercise choices, and it's basically, are you able to emotionally connect with the manager in your team and is the manager able to manage the Gen Ys in their team? I think that's what is the crux, and that's what makes the difference.
Sure. Okay. As the human resources of any company is a homogeneous term, but there are different segments in the human resources, and you need to have different strategies for different segments. So Gen Y is a segment by itself. From our experience, what we found out was